welcome to the third and final game of the week, Foxyland 2. Now, we reviewed the first game in the series a couple of weeks ago, and now, if you recall, um, Foxyland is a mobile-born platforming game that had very mobile design accoutrements going on there. It was very short, very, kind of basic, but overall, it was fairly competent for what it was. The PC and console port was kind of clunkily ported because it had things like the outrageously large UI and stuff. But like it was an average platformer, but it was not bad. So, with that context in mind, we have to ask this question. What the fuck happened with Foxyland 2 here? Because, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I noticed about Foxyland 2 is that it has way more text in it than Foxyland 1. This is not a good thing because the text is not actually particularly well written.
Right, but you're not expecting much from the text of a platforming game.
No, but it's still, the punctuation is wonked up. It's stuff that annoys me particularly. I don't know. Right. The second thing I noticed is that they've introduced the primary difference in play mechanic is that you have, that you actually do, is that you have a double jump now. Or that you have a wall jump in addition to the double jump you already had. This is badly implemented.
Yeah.
This is a wall jump where not only can you not gain altitude on your same wall, which is okay for a wall jump if you don't want to enable that, you also can only gain altitude on two walls if they're fairly close together, which basically makes it only in places where it was intended to be used. But you can still try to wall jump anywhere, and that basically makes all of the walls sticky, which when you're trying to fall to get away from something, it can be awkward to have to press away from the wall or tap down.
Mm-hmm.
And you get in a thing where you accidentally grab the edge of a wall instead of just falling into the spikes, and then you think you can save yourself, but you can't, so you just fall slowly onto the spikes. Also, Foxyland 1 let you take a hit and you just lost your cherries, and had to try and re-get those, and you'd had your performance dinged. Foxyland 2 has changed the game mechanics. Cherries now exist only to be thrown at enemies and apparently for feeding your kidnapped kids. So you don't do that, and when you die, you just die. And also, you don't have infinite lives anymore either. So you can lose your checkpoint progress in a level, which is even stupider. Because the levels are long enough to need checkpoints now.
Yeah. It's that's not even the stupidest part of this, because now, if you recall Foxyland 1, it had a pretty typical mobile game structure, each level laid out one after the other. But here, for whatever reason, this Foxyland 2 wanted to be like a 16-bit Mario clone.
There's a lot more. So in Foxyland 1, the cherries were your completion bonus collection, where you get bonus for getting all of them, and then there were other tokens that you had to get all of to make the door at the end of the level unlock. In this one, you can beat the level by just getting to the end, but there are 3 large coins hidden that kept track of how many of those there are. And also, in some levels, there's an S flag that opens up a second exit if you beat the level.
Yeah, which unlocks secret level.
Right. And that's just sort of generally, since you don't have to get them to complete the level, the large coins are now hidden in much more hostile places than they used to be. A lot of the times it'll be on the side wall of a spike pit that's hard to get out of, or you have to fall through ground that is not... usually it's pretty obvious because the ground has more texturing to it where you can go through it, but sometimes it just doesn't, and oh well, fuck you.
Accurate.
Also, you still don't have great jump control. Like the spikes, you still die when you think you're safe and just next to a spike. And Foxy falls a little bit too heavily, and I don't remember that being a problem in the original one.
No, but the problem I'm alluding to is, if you remember, like your 16-bit platformers, like take Super Mario World for example. If you recall, if you beat a level, that doesn't mean your progress was saved. You know, your progress is like saved after a fortress, after unlocking one of the switch blocks, or completing a castle. You could only save at specific locations. And
I think I quit before getting to a fortress, and I was able to pick up after that.
Not in my experience. Like, no, you had to. I'm like, no.
Maybe that's different between platforms. I don't know.
Well, it's also, you could go to like other. I think there were other places that you could save, but I definitely remember like you could in like the in Mario games you can only save at certain locations.
Right.
And
bring up a thing after that.
Yeah, the important thing is this game is emulating that fucking save style. When the first game had a much more modern save, like you complete a level, it records that level. This,
yeah, I can't sympathize. My experience I'm not saying you're wrong about what happened to you. I'm just saying in my experience, it wasn't like that. Oh, and also the little coins give you extra lives if you get for every 10 of them you get when you finish a level, I think.
25.
25?
Yeah, you're missing the larger point here. That is to say that you can only save your progress in this game at certain locations. Like, for example, you can only save your game where you can rest. Like, the first save point in Foxyland 2 is World 1, Level 6. And if you die before getting to the save point, your fucking progress is lost. And that holds true for the rest of the game. And if you think you can try to be clever and just go back to like level 1-6, that'll work for like one more time, and then it won't save like a third time. Yeah, it's really fucking stupid.
Oh, this game does have a 2-player mode, but we weren't able to try that because I didn't have anyone to play with.
Yeah, Alex, you're getting caught up on how like Super Mario World operated or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Foxyland 2's save system. Because this game is a lot more. It still retains its predecessor's masochistic tendencies, maybe in a different fashion, but it's still, this game still likes to kill you. And
yeah, I think the Switch version is different, and it just saves your progress.
Okay.
Well then.
Yeah.
Like level 11 is not a C level. It doesn't have one of the camp things. And I picked up and Pettyfan actually started this game. The first level he had accessible was 10. No, level 9 is
a save, yeah.
Camp level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that might be a version difference because the console versions were put out by Rodolikia Games. The mobile and PC versions the publisher was Crescent Moon Games.
Okay.
So
that might be a little bit better. There are boss fights now. They're not good.
Yeah. They fucking suck.
Once he's down on your level, you have to bait him to smacking into the walls, and then jump on him. And then after that, he has a phase where he just spins around for a while, and then you have to jump on him when he's dizzy.
Fun.
I mean, we've had this happen with Rodolikia Games.
See, that's the thing. Well, that's another good example. I figured that out through trial and error. The conveyance is very bad on what you're supposed to do with bosses, aside from, oops, I died from doing that, better not do that.
I suppose so. Honestly, I thought it was pretty clear what to do with Wolfie here.
And yeah, this game does have more of a story. The Wolfie brothers have kidnapped your kids and wife and saved them.
No, kidnap your kids. Your wife is with you. She's
Oh.
player 2.
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Anyway, in terms of like art and music and all that stuff, it's basically the same as Foxyland. Like,
Just, they made some changes to the gameplay, and they are mostly, if not entirely, for the worse for some reason.
Yeah, like I was shocked at how bad changes were. Like, I wasn't expecting a great platformer because the first Foxyland wasn't a great platformer, but I was expecting like maybe a marginal improvement because that's usually how at least sequel 1 works.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the quality drops off at like Foxyland 6, but Foxyland 2 here, like every new choice that they made, maybe aside from throwing the cherry to get the coin, like maybe the coins themselves,
Yeah.
it's like they were worse choices. Like
It definitely seems like it's trying to be more of an actual platformer and less of a like mobile platformer, but it does most of the things that actual platformers do that mobile or you know what I mean, like the minor indie platformers don't do. It does most of those badly or not well enough to like make it an actual improvement.
Yeah. Like I said, this game is markedly worse than Foxyland 1. Maybe maybe not worst game of the year candidate, but it's still pretty shit in the grand scheme of things. To compound this game is more expensive. Like, there is price parity between the different versions. I haven't checked the mobile version, and honestly, I don't really care about this one. So, because I can't recommend this at any price. It clocks in at $6, but once again, if it were going for $2, I'd say just go buy the first one if you really.
If you somehow manage to get deeply involved in the story and setting of Foxyland, then like maybe. But friggin', how did you do that? Also,
let me know what combination of drugs you need to do for that.
Yeah, I'm like, no. This is a pretty poor platforming game, and I don't like. I can kind of guess at what went wrong. Like they really wanted this to be more of a 16-bit platforming game, and it didn't shed the design conventions, and it added new ones that are in line with maybe the mechanics of Foxyland mobile platform, but they're shit. Okay, not gonna sugarcoat it here. What was added, what was changed was what was in general for the worse. Yeah. And yeah, that'll about do it for Foxyland 2 here. And yeah, likewise, that'll wrap up the Fragments of Silicon review session. So the week ahead, okay, Wednesday, May 20th. So our guest contacted us a couple of days ago. They had to cancel. The reason given was unspecified family problems.
I think they specifically said not COVID, but
It really, like, they didn't give a reason, but it really, like, the reason doesn't really matter. It's more they are having family issues that are large enough for them to the interview isn't canceled, it's postponed indefinitely. See also Stranga Games. Like, we'll have them, we'll have this developer on the program. It's a matter of figuring out when their fucking issues clear up enough so we can have them on the program. They don't know when that'll happen, so hence the indefinite. And given this happened on short notice, it's our old stand-in. Let's play 80 days. Maybe a developer will answer the call in the next 3 days. It's happened before, but it's not something we rely on. What we rely on is Let's Play series. This is just an occupational hazard. Or Lord knows we've had more than a few guests canceled for home troubles, let's say. So anyway, and there's no Friday show, so that's the week ahead for us. So until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.